back, spawn of Satan.
Oh, really? Yeah, back from the grave. Myself and the illustrious one, Mortimer Deadfellow, has come out of our crypts to bring you yet again more tales from the horror barbecue. Man, tonight is such a special edition of the show because we are talking about one of the single greatest actors in all film in general, because this man's range is longer than both my arms and Deadfellow's if you tore them off our bodies and sewn them together. He is responsible for bringing us some of the best characters, and not only character actor, but voice actor as well, because let's face it, one of the most bone-chilling, make your liver quiver kind of voice that he can bring to some of these dastardly characters. But before we get into all this horror business, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our new sponsor over at Horror Struck. Hot sauce, hotter than hell. Check it out. That's right. 4 amazing hot sauce blends that'll take you right down to the fiery pits of the abyss. And actually, I am not only myself, I have tried it, but one of our other illustrious addicts of the damned out there in the comment section has also tried it. Thank you, Lizzie. It was great to see your reviews on that. And I think Mortimer might have been, you know, it was used as smelling salts to wake him up.
Just a little bit. It's a mighty delicious product with just the right amount of spice to kick my horror up in a perfect way.
Yes, indeed. Not to mention the other illustrious member of the addict section, Brother Turkey Man himself has weighed in with his love for this particular line of hot sauce. So check them out. You know what to do over at horrorstruckhotsauce.com. Get it today and feel the burn. I love it. But seriously, though, welcome everybody in the comment section. It's kicked off before we even started. That just makes a devil and a dead fellow just feel super, super good. So you know what to do. There's a little share button. Hit it. Share this shit out anywhere and everywhere that there is a horror lover, especially to pay homage to the great Tony Todd. What's up, Babylon? He says, will it take my ass will it make my ass blow flames like a torch? Uh, I
I
don't
did
know.
not
I can't.
receive those effects, but it could vary from person to person's butthole. I'm unsure on that, Mr. Babbitt.
Yes. Gary. Oh, Gary Dondo in the house. House sauce from your.
Gentlemen, I think you're putting it on the wrong hole.
Wrong hole, wrong show. That's
Yeah.
right. Save it for Saturday. But seriously, though, he does have a wonderfully blended, super rich garlic sauce patterned after Hellraiser. And believe me, it gives a kick that at least this devil can honestly start sweating. So, but I love it, though. That's the main thing.
Great.
Absolutely. So let us begin at the start of this man's career, the film. Well, as a matter of fact, Brother Mortimer has some really good facts for us. So why don't you kick it off for us, brother?
Well, it is not his first film, but it's the one he's the most known for. His first film, though, is called Sleepwalk, or actually Sleepwalker. No, Sleepwalk. And it is the same year that Platoon, it was the same year that he came out and debuted to the world truly in Platoon, which was 1986. And
not a horror film, people.
Not a horror film, and started it at 31 years old.
You could say he was a late bloomer, and you have to think about it. Because at that time, in not just the horror genre, but all film genre, it was not easy.
Well, you also had, well, in my case, you had an oversaturation of the generational stars.
Right.
Where you had their children are automatically guaranteed to be a celebrity because they were kids of so-and-so. So actors that didn't have that background to come from had to do it the hard way.
Yes.
And come up through the theater and training and stuff. And that's what Tony did.
What do you do? Two-door in the house. What's happening, my brother? Good to see you.
And and I think that's what made it different for Tony comparative to some of the other actors was he studied the craft. He truly studied what it was to be an actor.
Mm-hmm.
To take, like you said, with that, the versatility that he brought to any role. Even from the very beginning, is next level. There's not that many actors that can do it truly like that.
No, not at all. I mean, the media, the mainstream media did not help because what were they always doing? Pushing Jack Nicholson, Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And the creation of the Brat Pack.
Right.
You got Emilio Estevez and all the Molly Ringwalds and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Shoot. I mean, there were John Cusack was also very big. Matthew Broderick. Yep. So, Tony really didn't, in my opinion, come into his own until he came to the dark side, the horror genre.
True to a large degree, because he was he had did so many like where they what is it called? Like I guess what was it called?
A lot of supporting roles.
But yeah, he did so many like guest appearances on like really popular shows like Murder, She Wrote.
Yes.
And different ones, like so many of those, like Night Court and MacGyver and all these iconic shows of the 80s. And he would do like 1 or 2 times on there as like a character actor.
Not a recurring character. But you knew when he was there. And
exactly.
A lot of us who grew up during, the heyday, which was the 80s.
Of course.
We recognized him. We knew him. But we didn't know truly what he was capable of until this.
That is true. That is true.
This was, in my opinion, probably a lot of people's opinion, a defining moment where he could bring to life such a character, such a well-written script, so many different rabbit holes within one film.
Well,
I guess you could call it a story within a story.
Well, exactly. And to me, he's I consider him a tragic horror character. Because to me, he's like Frankenstein.
Yes.
It's like he didn't ask to be turned into what he did.
Kyler, what's up, brother? Kyler, he is back.
And it's like he gave him a soul. It's like the character was created out of hate and ignorance. And he was
the first true anti-hero.
Exactly. He was guilty of love. That was it. But if you're going to do this to me, I'm going to become legend. I'm going to become something beyond a normal man. And that's what he did.
Yes. Kyler says, made you afraid of mirrors.
That too.
It wasn't Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. It was motherfucking Candyman.
It was 3 words. Be my victim.
And if you guys have been noticing lately, I've been throwing that in my tag because that's just my way of remembering him. He has always been an inspiration. He wasn't like, a super built guy, but tall as a motherfucker, larger than life.
One of the films I can say too in his youth that he got to show off his physique actually, and children of the 80s will remember this. There was films called Beastmaster.
Oh yeah.
And he ended up replacing John Amos's character.
He
fought with the staff and everything like that. And did Xena and Hercules. He did all those shows.
You literally could insert him into anything.
Yep.
And that was one of the things that I think I loved about him the most, is that it didn't end with film with him. It's like he continued to work. He worked both sides.
Yeah. Worked film, worked theater, worked voice. Yeah.
Literally
music.
Everything. But you never really got to hear about that. When most people talk about Tony Todd, it's like all these crazy characters that he managed to bring to life. And that's because he kind of like epitomized what a character actor really is.
True.
And don't get me wrong, there's quite a few actors and actresses that also can do that.
Yeah.
But there's something special. I
would say it's the class. It's a gentleman recognizes a gentleman. And he was a Renaissance man to me.
Yeah.
He was a lover of the arts. He was a lover of food and music, cats. He took beautiful care of his kitty cats.
Mm-hmm.
He was an animal lover. Music, like he would post so many different films and different ones that interested him, or music, and it would just be throughout the generational music that it was just really good music, and it's like I needed that day.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I wouldn't have thought of that song.
Well, he carries a huge amount of passion in just about everything he does. So it doesn't surprise me, that he was able to touch the hearts of everyone in so many different ways. And like I said, a lot of times people don't really get to know the actor, and what all he does. They just say, oh yeah, he was Candyman, or
exactly.
He was Dr. Zombie, in Hatchet Part 2. But he just had this thing, like, you can see it on paper, you can see the character on paper, you saw it in the script, but guaranteed what he brought to the character, it metamorphized. That's what
very much so,
into something larger than life. And that's why Candyman, if you watch the original to this very day, the moment he shows up and he's saying such beautifully dark romantic themes.
Yeah.
To
very much so.
You know what I mean? He's the only one that I think that really could have made that hit home. But
which is like the thing for me, like you're saying with that, he reminds me in part so much of Christopher Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Very much like an actor Lee. Like that's got so many layers to him. And so many things that he did.
What's up, brother?
And everything like that was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Leave It to Babylon. I love Beastmaster so much, baby oil and cocaine.
I think you like the ferrets.
All oiled up. What was it say? Mark Singer really got you, huh?
I think it was the He-Man haircut that did it.
Yeah. I mean, that dude was actually pretty ripped for
he was
his physique. He was pretty ripped.
Yeah. But I mean, come on, he had a tiger and stuff following him, so
Tony just looked like the Beastmaster assassin. Yeah. Which I know is, part of his character, but still. He pulled it off so well.
Yes, very much so.
Brother Morgan here says, I saw Tony Todd for the first time at the theater for the release of Night of the Living Dead remake. My heart sank when he became a zombie at the end. Absolutely. I mean, you felt that shit.
Yeah.
And I wonder,
it's that fight, that struggle to be the good guy, to try to save everybody that he could. Mm-hmm. And then he got it at the end, and I agree with him completely. It's a heartbreaking scene.
Oh man,
it breaks your heart.
Yeah, it's the next day, and you don't know what happened, and
But she did handle business for him.
Oh yeah,
she handled some unfinished business for him.
Absolutely.
So that I like, But I agree though. It was. And that's the thing. I've had my moments here and there with Savini, but I can't ignore his talent, and I can't ignore his eye for pure talent when Tony Todd coming in to read for that part. Because Ben, that character's got so many layers that he brought to the table that was already an iconic character.
I mean, and let's face it, when it came to slapping the sense into Barbara,
yeah.
he didn't mince reactions, and to this day when I watch that scene, I see the look of surprise.
Oh yeah.
He's like
don't tell her you're gonna pop it, But it was also to that aspect too. You get a much tougher Barbara by the end of that movie too.
Yes.
You get a Barbara that's not playing around. Because he made her smart. He made her think and use her mind.
Absolutely.
Made her fight.
Because the moment that you give up in your head, like, I really don't know what to do, so I guess I'm just going to die. He's like, bitch.
Nope.
This is what we're going to do.
You see those boards start nailing.
Right. And he really brought that home. And I agree with Babylon on this to the nth degree. Tony didn't act like the character. He became the character and brought a truth to it. Absolutely. So. And, that's that genuineness that has captivated horror audiences for 40 years, I want to say.
At least.
Since he just acting in the horror genre.
Yeah, I mean, at least
every single time. Didn't matter what the fuck he was in.
But that's the thing too. Yeah, is everything he did, he made better.
Yes.
Yeah, he stole that entire picture.
He was the picture.
Yeah, no, you're right. 100%. He was the picture. That and the effects.
I mean, I felt so torn when They're trying to get away, and the old girl runs into the gasoline pumps,
Oh, you
and it
mean for
starts a
the horror
blaze.
barbecue?
Uh-huh. That was a true horror barbecue.
Oh, that was.
He's just looking like that was our chance.
Yeah.
That was our chance to get away. And I always kind of choke back a little bit like, dude.
Oh, yeah. You feel for him because it's like, y'all too. I've been saving y'all
the
butt
ultimate struggle.
this whole movie.
No,
And then you're gonna destroy our one way out. Thank you. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it's like he was at that point of like, well, what the fuck do I do now? That was the plan. Was it was going? It was happening.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she had a lead foot and a little bit of crazoid going on.
Yeah, she started to get a little loopy at the end of that. Yeah.
Now, and that's one of the things that I think that really made that film or that adaptation of it so strong is because everyone literally was genuine.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I also think on that one that you really felt that anybody could go.
Yep.
And that was before a lot of movies where that was became the norm.
Yes.
So it's like, are we going to lose this person? Are we going to lose that? And then as this one goes on from Bill Moseley, they just knock people out. He's coming to get you, Barbara. And then he's done. And I've hit my head on a tombstone a good couple times. I don't recommend it. But I mean, for me, I'm already dead to begin with. He wasn't yet.
Well, and let's talk about another one that just he was instantly my favorite character because nobody could deliver the message of doom quite like Tony Todd in the great Final Destination franchise. Without him, I don't think it would have had as big of an impact that it did. Here's this guy. He's the coroner. He's the guy showing up, carting off the dead bodies and giving dark wisdom to these teenagers. And, he's kind of like quirky about it. He's smiling. He laughs a little, makes a joke and basically saying, you're fucked. Like,
well,
there's nothing you can do.
The thing is, that was so nice to see too, at least for me being a former mortician, is to see the gallows humor was still well and strong.
Oh,
and
man.
I think he represented us quite well.
Without a doubt. And I don't think there could have been anybody else that would have brought that. I mean, we're talking about a minor character in that franchise.
Minor character that was more important than most.
Exactly. Well, shit, Tony Todd made it more important.
Exactly.
He keeps showing up film after film after film in that franchise. There's a reason.
It's like what Clive told him. Clive had told him way back with Candyman. Mm-hmm. Thank you for improving a character and making him better than what I wrote. You have that praise come from Clive Barker. What else do you need? From a horror icon himself.
Yeah, you pretty much.
Because
that's the highest honor you can get.
You improved my character by far. Gave it so much more, made it so much more. And like you're saying, it's same with this. And in Final Destination, you had to keep bringing him back. Because who is going to further your lore better than him?
No one.
Because he was the one that survived because he didn't piss death off.
Sure didn't. He didn't
tempt death very well. He becomes
what? I absolutely agree with Kyler on this. He says, my theory was always he was death. And I think in human form, I'm glad you picked up on that. I totally believe that myself because that character.
That I do. I agree too.
Too important to the story. Because he would try to help, but he would also basically tell you, I don't know.
He kind of reminded me of Anubis.
Yeah.
Like that. Like you have a chance, but your own deeds are what are going to condemn you or save you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually what it was for him, is trying to mess with the chain of everything and think that you could make it jump and then it would change its pattern to catch you.
Exactly.
You can't
yes,
cheat that.
Dustin. He says, I have never been a big fan of the Final Destination franchise, but he made those movies watchable. He was just so good. I mean, yeah, nothing against Zawa and any of the other young talent,
Yeah, no, they did all right, but I agree with him on that one. It was kind of to a beat.
He made it
typical
he elevated
2000s
the whole
horror, but
his presence.
Yes, exactly. He jumped to anything up he was in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's literally, I don't care what the project was.
Yeah, I mean,
he made it better.
Could we have had one of the great creature franchises of the 90s without him in Wishmaster?
No, because it was, to me, it was the same thing of literally going, a horror icon is going to introduce you to another horror icon. Okay, it's the same way as it's exactly like that, right. as Robert Englund has tried to do at times.
I think that man has passed the torch about a good 15 to 20 times.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, because to that end, though, I do believe people like him and Tony and stuff like that understood that it's not just your fans. The people you inspire become the next generation of creators and filmmakers. Exactly. Same thing that Lloyd always did with people and has done with people. Create the future, kids. I'm here. I inspired you. I showed you how to do it. Go make movies. Go do it. Make it your damn self. And that's what so many of us have learned. But you need people with passion the way that Tony was in every single role he did.
He never took it lightly. He never took it lightly.
Star Trek, you went from horror, right, like a horror icon where you were already recognizable, to Worf's brother. And loved it, absolutely loved it. Everybody loved him on there, and it was a show that he got to do recurring, and to get an actor of his caliber to get a repeat, keep coming back.
One of the biggest cult sci-fi shows, probably the most cult followed sci-fi shows of all time. I mean, we're talking about season after season after season after a reboot after just over and over again, and he's there. He was not afraid, to do prosthetic work or, become
to go for it. Because he was a Klingon. He wasn't a quiet. He was Worf's brother. It's like,
if you pissed him off.
But that was the other thing there too.
I wouldn't want to be on the end of that fucking.
His first, exactly. That's a big Klingon. Oh crap! But it's like on that end too. They trusted him enough coming into it to where you're letting him be a relative of a main character. Yeah. A stable character. So they had trust in his ability alone and what he was going to bring to it, I believe.
Oh, absolutely.
And then what was it for Deep Space Nine? He got to be the kid grown up. When they show him grown up, the kid's Tony Todd. And it's like, that was awesome. I just half caught that. And it's like, oh, now you got my attention.
What's
okay.
Up, Johnny?
Johnny.
Good to see you, brother.
Another skull friend of mine. Oh. You find a lot of those in the crypt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me.
You've been down here before.
I'm thinking about a new look to do every once in a while. Once I perfect it, I will show you. Inspired by the great Johnny Necro himself. So. Yes. Let's see here. So Dustin says some actors have that gift of voice, knowing how to react minimally in order to make a big impact. He was in a small role in The Rock. Yep. And that was one of the ones that I was gonna bring up. Shining example of a film that he brought so much to the table, but yet was not the biggest supporting role.
Right.
And when he is there, he is the star of those scenes. Exactly. That's one of the things that I kind of used to say about him, like scene stealer or scene stealer. That's and I mean that in the nicest, most.
Of course, yeah. He wasn't tanking
was
any of those performances. Yeah,
he was just that guy.
Yeah, he was improving it. I mean, it's like Sid Haig. I had the same thing to me. Is that same level of artistry to your craft, to where like he knew how Captain Spaulding would act to a scene.
Mm-hmm.
He would learn exactly, like in the exploitation films that he did, what he needed to bring to that character. Man. What he always, it's the same thing. It's taking your craft and really being an actor, and without the ego. That's the problem. There are character actors that can go that far, but not many of them that go that far without the ego.
Nope.
They were all about bringing others up with them. And working with the cast and the young talents and stuff like that. That is, to me, that makes him even more of an amazing artist and person.
Big time. And we were just talking about him being kind of a scene stealer. Well,
yeah,
he shows up in Hellfest at a major haunt. Like this is a theme park haunt, right? And he is the host with the most, on the side stage, and taking one of the main characters and basically, trying to make it look like she gets her head cut off. The moment dude started speaking, and he was speaking while so much other shit was going on, I'm telling you, the audience, myself included, was listening to him, hearing what he had to say.
Yep.
Waiting to when we could actually see him. If it wasn't for him, that film would have been.
It would have tanked. Yeah, he sold the film. Like, they made sure to show that he was in it in the trailers. They had to, because they needed him. And it was, I mean, it wasn't a garbage. It wasn't a garbage movie, but it needed an injection of and
badassery.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the thing to me with that it's like he did it effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it wasn't that case, because I know he thought about it, because he would talk about, his processes and stuff. And this thing as anybody would do, it's like what Dustin had said, and what Babylon had said. It's like he would get to the truth of the character.
Every time. He never treated a minor role like it was, it's just a minor role.
There you go. Exactly. That's
he was all statement. In.
Yeah. It was like it was a main role every time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and I think many directors, minus just his star power, knew that it's like, I can take Tony Todd, put him in these scenes, and make him better automatically just by the man sitting there.
Oh, let me tell you, that was so unholy true. In the great original Crow, no one else could have been the personal bodyguard to the main villain in this story, but
that could handle himself already. You already knew that the main villain could handle himself. So it's like, what could Tony Todd's characters do that his couldn't, when this guy was using swords and blades and knives and you name it? So I loved that. And the thing was with him, like the scene, like, where you have him checking out the dirt in the Crow, where Eric had come out of the ground. And he's like, oh,
he was the one piecing it together. Like, he's the one that figured it out, not that fucking crazy wackadoo sister who was like, the eyes and, all that crazy shit. Nah. It was Tony Todd's character, and it was awesome to watch, because the whole time you're feeling for Brandon's character.
Yep.
You're totally vested in him the fact that he's back and righting the wrong and then being delivered back to his beloved. But at the same token, you got Tony nipping at his heels, right? And you're like,
with a group of individuals, he's right behind him. And it's like, but you don't know, they don't let you know really in that yet.
Nope.
If something that Tony would pose a threat to his character or not.
Mm-hmm.
You have that air. The rest of them, he's going to run through them like a lawnmower.
Oh, yeah.
You already know that. They're dead. They just don't know it yet. But
and he wasn't like those
he wasn't like them.
He wasn't like those other hacks.
Exactly. He was on a way different level.
Spray bullets.
Yeah.
When he shot to make it count.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anybody else could have shot that crow in the church scene so that
not mid-flight.
Little Miss Mary Contrary could pick it up.
True.
I loved that part because I could see him being that guy, the guy that comes knocking at your door saying, "Where's my fucking money?"
Oh, exactly. But also too is
I got that from Tony Todd.
He set up that scene to me so that Michael Wincott can make his joke.
Big time.
Bank, fuck, I'm dead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what it was, though, is you had, like you said, it was that serious calculatedness. There's my hitman. That's the guy that I send to not miss. That's his bullseye, pretty much. Well, he's better than bullseye, but you get the reference. You send it for a guy to not miss.
That's right.
And he did amazing. He added him and Ernie Hudson added so much to that with their performances.
Unholy fuck.
Because you had two amazing actors, one on one side and one on the other side. And I loved that.
His exchange with the I forget his name. I love him so much because they always have him play like a mobster type of guy. But the pawn shop owner, that whole exchange at the bar when he goes, "Well, shit on me."
Do I bow or do I curtsy?
And he's just standing there in his ear, just basically going, "Yeah, you fucked up."
And you need to go talk to the boss now, not yesterday. Now
he gave him the opportunity to finish his drink, the 9 yards. Just such a gentleman, but he's like, "You're gonna, pay for this."
Exactly. Well, it's an authoritative gentleman. It's like I'm not going to ask you twice.
Mm-hmm.
And once I don't ask you, you're done.
You're all out of your fucking minds. Such a great scene. And Tony's so fucking smooth. He's just like, "I'll have somebody come clean this up."
Sorry, I got blood on you.
Fantastic line.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like he always delivered his lines so smoothly and so debonair, no matter what it was.
A new viewer. What's up, Emery? Glad you could make it. Thanks for joining us. We totally appreciate you.
No, that's family.
Right? Shit. Oh, we was going down memory lane right then.
We get it loose.
But one of my favorite characters that he played. Don't get me wrong. I love every character.
Oh, yeah.
Played, but when he showed up in this Barnstormer, out of nowhere in the early 2000s, alongside Kane fucking Hodder.
I already know what you're doing. I knew it.
Couldn't have been a better fucking lineup
for
a sequel to the first one that just absolutely dominated horror franchises and gave us a new horror icon to look to behold.
It's the same thing that Art's doing right now is what
exactly what David did. And I mean, we're talking about practical effects to the max. We're talking about the Hatchet series. When he shows up as the Reverend Zombie, he is everything that you want and more in this New Orleans towny type of person who is trying to sell you, charms and snake venom and make you think that, your dick's gonna, grow 50.
Right. hitting the tourists. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody knew that he was a con man, but he was a businessman at the same time. And the fact he became that guy, that villain that you were like, yeah, I kind of hope he gets it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like, even though I love Tony Todd, he's not a very nice guy in it. Yeah.
Oh man, Victor Crowley fucks his world up. But he was defiant to the end.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I absolutely loved about this sequel.
See, the thing that they were brilliant about it, too, how many other amazing icons in horror did he have beside him in this film?
Oh, fuck. And he did, no offense, but he danced circles around him.
a good few. But also, too, he had more screen time than most.
He did, because his role was so important.
Because you needed him to the storyline. Yep. But also, too, you got Felissa Rose. She blew me away. I loved her. I love her in everything she does. But amazing. It's the same aspect as Tony. Okay, you bring everything up your end. Derek Mears. Oh, I'm gonna take him on. Did not work out. All right, Leatherface himself did not work out. That's what I'm saying. It's like he went boom, 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 just taking him out left and right, including Robert Englund.
Yes. Well,
it's
he died in the first one.
Exactly. When you go through the series of these films, he just wrecked through 90s horror or 80s horror icons like they weren't nothing. And then went into the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, and for Kane Hodder to step out from The Mask, and to don a new creature mutation like this, no mask needed, but damn it, the prosthetics were fan-fucking.
Oh, he's a pretty boy, yeah, very much so.
Nobody else could have done that, and I couldn't think of a better ending fight. It was so epic, because Tony makes you think that he's getting away, that he's got it figured out. He's got the other people for Victor to get his revenge on. Yeah. But little does he know, old Victor come after him.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing there too. Was it's like, as you also with that characters, you had so many people that knew the legend of Victor Crowley. And still poo-pooed it, even though there's like bodies getting pulled out of the swamp left and right. Anybody that goes near his home looks like they were in a wood chipper.
Right.
What's doing that? It ain't a gator. A gator will grab you down, stick you in a hole, and leave you there, soften you up, and then chew on you. You're not. It's not going to be. Oh, why is there a power saw in his head? Or things like that. It's like, where I'm going to power sand this guy's skull open. How did you get a 60-foot cord?
I loved that kill choice.
Exactly. But that's the thing, is it's like people still would go out there. That's how, Tony Todd was able to get people to still go out on these tours, even though you knew this guy. It's like he knew he was real. He very much knew he was real.
Not to mention the chemistry between Tony and Danielle Harris, the final.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know anybody he didn't have chemistry with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right into Candyman. Think about it. You got Helen. Yep. And she's no slouch of an actress. She tore it up. She always has, and tons of things. But that was like you said, you got this man that's heart's breaking in front of you, telling you all this romantic, dark death stuff. And it's like, do I go with him or not? I kind of want to, but I'm kind of scared.
It was very seductive.
He did that with every character.
He drew her in.
Exactly. I mean, it's that allure that he had, that mystery that he had, that he could bring into each character he portrayed.
Yes.
So he always added more than what was on the on the screen.
Just like he was able to convince Danielle Harris's character that he had her best interest at heart and still tried to save her at the end. Didn't see that one coming.
No, but
he was trying to get her to run away.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the thing, because it's like at the end of the day, when somebody's got to really, I guess, realize what they're up against.
And he's I know I'm a bastard, but I'm not a fucking bastard.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Yeah, and he tried to take it for her, and did, boy. Oh boy, did he ever.
Wee.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When you piss off Victor, it doesn't really work too well out for you. He gets creative.
Right.
And takes his time. Because usually it's just quick, one and done, pop you like a beer tab, and then when he gets your attention, you really get his attention, you get special treatment.
Yeah. And we've kind of touched upon this, and I think this is a good part of for the segment of the show, is to talk about his amazing voiceover work.
Oh.
Could we have had Transformers Revenge of the Fallen without the legendary voice that Tony Todd can provide? He literally sounds like evil personified. And I don't even think that he has to try, because I have heard this man speak.
Yeah, normally. Yeah.
I mean, he was
very much so.
Very nice. And very, very intelligible. I the first time I actually heard him speak normally was on an episode of Halloween Wars. It was the bake a Halloween cake that is a work of art, and they were having horror actors come on the show, and he was one of them. Oh man, it was probably the highest rated show
I'm sure it was
that contest. And to listen to him, he'd just switch it on, switch it off. Hey, I'm fun, I'm awesome. And then, give you that look.
Exactly,
when I was on the set of, in that deep, dark
very much so.
he can give.
It's like Vincent Price for me. It's I'm pure class. I'm an artist. I love food. I love music. I love life. But I'm not afraid to
moonlight.
Dip into the dark side a little bit. It's like I can look into the shadows and not flinch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing. It's like it was such a gothic beauty that he brought to each one of his horror characters, no matter how bad they were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I had actually gotten lucky enough to actually, through like messages on stuff, I got to talk to him about a role that he said that he had wished that he had got to play that he never got to.
Oh no. What was that?
He wanted to be the Phantom on Broadway.
Unholy fuck, would he have
he wanted a chance to play the Phantom on Broadway.
Wow.
And I told him, it's like, sir, you would have done one of the most amazing Phantoms that it would have blown the thing away. It's the play would still be going now, because it ended its run on Broadway, and that's what had gotten him talking about it and stuff. And I was like, would you have played the Phantom if you got the opportunity? And he's like, I would have absolutely loved it.
Oh, it still amazes me that play is no longer being done.
Yeah, for many years. Yeah, it was an iconic. For years and years. But he would have been amazing. It's like we got a portrayal of him where he got to play Jekyll and Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like how many different literary characters like that could he have brought to life?
Oh, unholy.
And it's like how many did he on screen? But it's like you were saying, through the voice work for all the different Transformers, Venom for Spider-Man, literally Zoom for the Flash series. And he wasn't even in the costume. He didn't have to be, which is good for him. He didn't have to go through all the prosthetics. But It's like
Dude,
if you
all
took,
he had to do was be the voice, and the voice
and that's
was
what it
larger
was.
than
If you took the
yeah.
Flash and just dipped him into pure darkness, pulled him out, and made the lightning that came off of him neon blue, and it's black eyes and everything, and you've got Tony Todd's voice behind it saying, "I'm going to kill you, Flash." What are you going to do? You know,
And,
it was that impact he had, like you said, for Transformers. It's the same thing.
mm-hmm.
You need something that sounded otherworldly that wanted you dead.
And commanded.
Exactly.
Exactly. He
and
was
like,
those characters,
very
whether
much
he
so.
was playing it on camera or behind the microphone. You know, and shoot. He did a lot of action films too. I happened to pull this one. Him and you know, Danny Trejo.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
action. He did westerns.
He
jumped around.
Multi-genre actor.
Very much so.
He was in some like serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was even you know, in recent years, I believe he did a couple of like dark romance type shit. There was no limits to what he could do.
Well, I was just saying is it's like, but even with Tony Todd or what he brought to Candyman, like you turned Candyman not just into an anti-hero.
Oh, that was a fucking love
sex symbol for some women. It's the same as Dracula was a sex symbol.
Yep.
It's the same thing. It's like he scares the ever-loving crap out of you, but he's a gentleman with a dark, soothing voice and come to me, I'll love you forever. You know, and stuff like that. And it's like
the thrill,
exactly. And it's like he could bring that, but it's that tragedy of like Frankenstein. It's like you want to hug him, you want to be there for him. It's like it's okay that what happened to you shouldn't have happened to you. And then you realize, oh, now he's about to shove a giant hook into me. Oops, you know, because he could bring the terror. I'd have rather got the hook than the bees.
And he went through some fucking hell with that.
He was smart about it, though. Got paid. I believe it was $1,000 per sting.
That's right.
And altogether,
I mean, when you talk about financial,
like 10, 15 grand,
yeah, you know, because
you got them in your mouth, in your face, all over your chest, and they can swarm anytime they want to, even if they're trained.
Right. Exactly. So, and I don't know too many bees that want to be in your mouth, and then you close your mouth, and then you're going to let them go. You know, they couldn't have pulled that off with CGI back then. No,
and it wouldn't have looked right anyway. It just, there's no way at that time they could have pulled it off.
No, it wouldn't have been legit. And he was about being legit. I mean, you know, we talk about, you know, guys like Bruce Campbell and, you know, obviously Kane Hodder and everyone that's played Leatherface, Robert Englund. They all went in. They didn't have, you know, stunt guys do their shit for them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. In a lot of cases, exactly with Kane. And that's, I think, what helped Kane too so much was having the stunt guy training to already know what to do and then
how to fall.
Exactly.
You know.
Or how to kill somebody on camera. I mean, he's killed somebody on camera more than any other actor.
That's right.
You know, like literally accredited. So it's like, you want to learn how to die on camera, you talk to Kane Hodder and he'll show you. You know, and down you go. But it's like, exactly. But it's like he's perfected it to where he could do the stunt with you to where it looks violent, but you're perfectly safe in his, and you know,
the entire time.
Exactly. But it looks like he is brutalizing you. It's because he knows what he's doing. Same thing with Tony. It's like that.
You were in his embrace.
Yes.
That's kind of the way that I look at it.
Shadowing presence, but in a good way. I mean, it's foreboding in a horror film, and you know, and like you said, you know,
Candyman is the perfect film because this dude has a ginormous hook.
Oh yeah,
dripping blood, and he's got one arm around you, and he's running it up your body, and that's not to kill you, but he's like, that's that whole seduction piece, especially with the lead actress. And I don't know anybody else that could have made her feel that comfortable.
Well, that too. Well, no, that's the thing too. Is exactly
that hook was no fucking joke.
Oh yeah, no, it's especially in that one. The way that they make it look, it's got like nails sticking out of part of where the stump is, and it's all jagged, and you literally, like you were saying, if you go for the straight up Candyman kill, it's groin to gullet.
Right.
So it's in and then all the way up. And because he's supernatural, he can do that without a problem. It's like Freddy
he's in
you and drag you up the wall. That's where the supernatural problems come in for people. Because it's not it's like you said, it's not like some maniac killer. You're not just shooting him 5 times and he's gone, whatever. Oh, I shot him in the head. It doesn't matter. You can't do anything like that to Candyman.
No, and I've always loved the fact that he never really played that type of character.
No, exactly. He never did. He never had to because it was
couldn't get rid of him.
Well, I think it was below his talent level. I don't think he would be unwilling to take a role like that, but I can't answer for the man. But I personally believe that you wouldn't have been able to sell that he was just some, like you were saying, under level henchman, and he had to be something more than that, because you were wondering that and you were expecting that for every film you saw him in. It's like you said for Hellfest. It's like, oh, okay, Tony Todd's on. Shut up. Yeah, there's a killer chase. I don't care. Tony Todd's on screen.
It was a defining part of the film.
Exactly. It was the one thing that got people in there.
Yeah, it was, and it was one of the most brutal kill scenes too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to
which made it that much better. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm glad they saved it that way. Just for his scene, because you're wondering, is he really going to try to kill her? And because at that point you don't know who the killer is, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But he made you think that he was going to.
Yeah. But he was good at that too, is making you think. It's like he could be possible, he could be a suspect, but he could not be at the same time. It's like he would make you question what's really going on, and I love that as an actor because he's making you pay attention. Because you got so many people where it's like, man, I wish they would just get off screen. Are they done? Are they still talking? And he's not one of those. He's the exact opposite. It conveys you to keep watching the performance. Hypnotic almost, I would say, for me.
Never a moment that you would take your eyes off him. Just because you want to, it's that some people just have it, that natural dead look in the eyes. And in my opinion, no one had it better than him.
Oh, yeah.
And he gave us, it's like that defiance, that brilliance, that anti-hero that gives us one more amazing performance. And anyone that went to the theater to support this film, because this was a film that David Howard Thornton, did outside of Art the Clown, in between, doing the sequel. Guys, you want to talk about a loaded bill and Tony Todd's in it? Steam. You have the guy who played Reanimator. And I know his name is escaping me at the moment. Jeffrey Combs, thank you. Felissa Rose also in it. Tim Curry, yes. Triumphant return to the screen, and he's in fucking Street. Wow, that rhymed. I didn't mean to do that, but it happened. Gotta love it. Damn. Like I said, so many horror icons in one film. And and I'm so happy that Tony got to be a part of it.
Me too. Very much so.
And it
had to be. I mean, if you're doing icons like that, he has to be. He has to be in the conversation.
And it's such a maniacal type of story where, you're lured into what you think is going to be a fun time, a good little getaway.
Right.
And these fucking insane killers just get to have their way with you. Good luck with that.
Yeah, watch out for those timeshares. They're killers. No,
but you get a free TV.
Yeah,
if you survive.
We have a four-scare dinner restaurant. Your head will be served later.
But I digress. I have not seen it yet. I don't know if Mr. Deadfellow has seen it yet either.
I have not gotten the opportunity yet.
But it should be.
Oh, it's coming.
If it's not already streaming, it will be streaming. And I think Screambox pretty much gobbles, a lot of these films up,
right?
Because the whole producing team, and I think some of the crew from the Terrifier franchise are involved in this film, as well as a couple of the writers too. So you're getting brilliance. Nice. You're getting brilliant performances. And damn it, to cap off such a prolific amazeballs career that Tony Todd has had, this has got to be one that you check out. So myself and Mr. Deadfellow are going to challenge you all out there in the Morgrot universe to check this film out and see what Tony Todd brings to the table. And if there are some of these films that you haven't seen yet that we have discussed tonight, because believe me, his IMDb list is longer than probably the fucking equator as far as what he's been a part of, the roles that he's done, the different films, television, video, and however many appearances that he's made on so many different projects. We want you to check out everything this man has done, because from one character to the next, every single one of them he brings to life. And I can't say it enough, so I'm going to say it again. That voice.
Very much so.
Nothing like it. And I know most of us are not a big fan of the Crow remake, because that's one cast you just can't beat. Sorry, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Watch the original.
Yes, original.
Tony's character is so fucking badass. There's just no getting around it. Nobody could have played that role like he did.
Yep.
Shit, any of the actors in that film. No fucking way. No way. So we want to challenge you. Check out some of these other projects. And if you're not sure, just from the list that we've given you, go to his IMDb. That's one of the great things about that particular app, is that you can find what all works, that legends like this have done. And if you want to check more out, fucking hell, with streaming services nowadays, it's pretty easy to get your hands on most of these, whether you pay for them or you don't. I'm
Tubi.
sure there's plenty on Tubi.
Some on YouTube in some cases. Type in free with ads.
Right.
You'll find a lot of free movies.
Some in which that you'll see the big bad devil daddy himself and Brother Mortimer there very, very soon.
Yes.
So to one of the greatest of all time, I can literally say with confidence that Tony Todd will forever be one of the greatest of all time. in the horror genre.
100%.
Even in death, he inspires us to continue to do what we do and give it our all. Because at the end of the day, it is all about passion. A lot of people will say ambition because people are always, about the challenge or this or that. But no, it's the passion for this genre to make it have that, it's almost like bringing back that golden age of horror. And everything that came before it, going back to the 50s, bringing it to the forefront again, because actors like this is the reason 50, 60 some years later, people are still watching it and revisiting it at every age, teenager, 20-some-year-old, somebody, between 30 and 40 and all the way into seniorhood, still watching these classics and prefer them. Yeah. And Tony Todd is a huge part of these.
Yep. He is one of the big reasons there too. Exactly.
Fucking A right. We want to thank you all so much for joining us here on this auspicious Thursday evening. In our November Coming Fire edition, as we are still in the month of November. And it was definitely the perfect time to discuss this illustrious career. And we're going to be talking about some Thanksgiving classic films, even though some of them are a bit newer, on the next edition of the Horror Barbecue. So you're going to want to make sure, gobble, gobble, see what's coming to dinner next week as we bring you some of our personal Thanksgiving horror favorites. Guaranteed to be finger-licking good. Thank you for joining us tonight, and don't forget, tomorrow night, Tracks of the Damned comes back. And we're going to be talking about some amazing albums that have influenced every part of our lives, going back to childhood, because let's face it, all of us have those few albums, maybe 10, it could be 20, but still, though, the first time you heard that metal song, multi-subgenre, doesn't matter who, that fucking grabbed you by the neck and said, you're going to be a lifelong metalhead. That's right. That's what we're going to be discussing tomorrow night at 8 p.m. CST. And don't forget, come Saturday, are you ready to sin? I know I am every single day, but on Satanic Saturday, it is time to get down, get dirty, and get wild. So make sure that you join us Saturday night at 8 p.m. CST to get your extra helping, your extra dose of hilariousness and debauchery. So as you are getting ready to descend into your final hellish day at work, you must remember, this weekend, you're going to watch some Tony Todd classics. And while you're doing that, stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Rebirth Underground. Stay tuned for more from Lower Grot Entertainment in association with Black Flame Entertainment.